Morning and Chodesh Tov. Today is the first day of the happiest month of the year, the month of Adar. And our rabbis tell us when Adar begins, we increase our joy. And this year, it's a leap year, so we have 2 months of Adar, 60 days of joy, not just 30 days. And one of the meanings of the word Adar is Aleph Dar. Aleph, of course, refers to God, the one God, Aleph. Dar dwells. And therefore what the verse is saying is, Mishanichnas Adar, when we understand and incorporate and enter into ourselves the idea that God dwells within us, then we automatically increase our joy, because there's no greater joy than knowing that we're not alone in this world, but that God is not only in the world with us, but dwells within each and every one of us. And indeed, that's the message of this week's Torah portion. This week's Torah portion is Terumah. It's about God saying to the Jewish people, don't just turn to me to make miracles, the 10 plagues, the splitting of the sea, the manna from heaven, the water from the rock. Yes, I am your Father in heaven, but since you are my children, I am dependent as well on your love for me. And therefore I need you to build a dwelling place for me, a tabernacle, a sanctuary, to invite me into your lives. Because every parent wants to be a part of their children's lives, wants to dwell in the midst of their children. There's no greater joy. And therefore the month of Adar is, how do we bring joy to God, and how do we bring joy to ourselves? By building a home, a dwelling place for God. And building a home and a dwelling place for God is not just in the physical sanctuary, but anytime we invite God into our lives, into our conversations, into our homes, into our business environment, God is dwelling amongst us. And that not only brings joy to God, but it brings joy to us, knowing that God is in our midst. And that is the message of this week's Torah portion. Build for me a sanctuary, and I will dwell in your midst. What God is saying is that whenever Jews gather together with unity and love, then I will dwell amongst the Jewish people within each and every one of you. I remember once at our synagogue, a visitor came, and he called me a day later. He had left town, and he sounded frantic, and he said to me, Rabbi, I left my little pocket-sized prayer book in your synagogue. Could you please find it for me? And I went down to the synagogue, and I found that he had left it. I called him. He was so grateful and thankful, and he asked me to send it to him. And he told me, Rabbi, I'm so grateful because this prayer book is the most meaningful thing to me. I said, why? He said, because when my daughter had our bat mitzvah, on the day of our bat mitzvah, she presented me with a gift. And the gift was this little prayer book. And in it she wrote a beautiful description, an inscription, a loving inscription, thanking me for being such a wonderful father and expressing her love and gratitude to me. Ever since she gave me that prayer book, I've used it every day of my life. She said, my daughter is now married with her own children, but whenever I pray to her, I use her siddur. And I was so frightened that maybe I would have lost it. And I realized, here's a man praying to his Father in heaven, using a prayer book where his child expresses his love and gratitude to him as a parent, while this child is now a mother expressing her love to her children. Are we not all parents and children all at the same time? And just like a child needs the love of a parent needs the love of a child. God says, it's not enough that I give you my love. You need to give me your love. And therefore, yes, I want to dwell in your sanctuaries, in your homes, in your dwelling places. I want to dwell in the life of each and every one of you, because there's no greater joy than for a parent than to be with their children and at the same time see all their children together, loving one another. The message of the parsha, the message of the month of Adar is that the greatest joy is when we connect with each other, and we connect and become one with our Father in heaven. May it be a joyous month for each and every one of us, and for the Jewish people and the world over. Have a wonderful day.